everyone. My name's Ruth and I'm from the Butler County Farm Bureau. And today, Flat Aggie and I are going to tell you about pumpkins. And this is a season that everybody's collecting their pumpkins and making their jack-o'-lanterns. The book we're going to read is called Pumpkin Circle. The pumpkin seed makes the pumpkin plant, and the pumpkin plant makes the pumpkins. Look at it, there's too many pumpkins to even count in that picture. Deep within each pumpkin, the air is damp and cool. The walls are lined with teardrop seeds, each one a slippery jewel. Scrape them from their orange cave, wash away the mush, save a few to grow next spring, and have a bunch to munch. You actually can take the pumpkin seeds and roast them in the oven, and they're good for you. They have a lot of protein, which is good for us. When the earth is soft and warm, plant those sleepy seeds. When do you think the earth is soft and warm? Probably in the springtime, isn't it? So we're going to plant the seeds in the springtime. Now here's the man that wears the orange gloves, and he's in the book to show you how big that seed is compared to his gloves. So we're going to plant those sleepy seeds in the spring in about 1 week, and 1 week is 7 days, isn't it? In about 1 week, out they peek to fresh, young, fat, green leaves. This garden will be home to many pumpkin cousins, one big pumpkin family, and 5 varieties. So when you look at this picture, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seeds in that picture, isn't there? And each one is different. Some are white, some are tan, some are huge, some are small, some are medium-sized. So each pumpkin is different. Like if you go and hunt for pumpkins, some of them will be way tall, some will be big around, some will be small like those little decorative pumpkins. Every passing minute awakens each new plant, reaching down with silky roots, reaching up to dance. So if you look, this is underground, so if you look at the roots that are underneath that plant, the roots have to be in a good way because they have to take in the nutrition from the soil. Week by week, the backyard patch spreads before your eyes, filling every inch of space with leaves and roots and vines. So those 5 pumpkin seeds that they planted have now grown into this whole backyard patch. And they're even growing up the fence, aren't they? There's our man with the orange gloves. Huge green leaves grow toward the sky, prickly, lush, and wide. Now you can see by his gloves, compared to that huge leaf, how big the leaves get. They soak up sun and water and make a shady place to hide. Twisty tendrils grasp like hands, stretching out to cling. They roll down into fancy curls and wind up just like springs. So these little springs are kind of prickly, and they help the plants when they grow up these walls. They kind of hang on to the wall for the plant. Then, silently as angels, flower buds appear with pointy little collars and gleaming silver hair. So we started with the seed, and after 1 week, what grew? 2 fat green leaves. After that, the vine grew, and now we're going to have the blossom. Velvet petals open, brilliant sunlit bowls, delicate fragrant, a sign of pumpkin gold. So their blossoms are bright yellow. Then along come the bees, floating through the air, buzzing, gathering, guzzling, zooming everywhere. So the bee goes from blossom to blossom to blossom. And when they go from blossom to blossom to blossom, They'll pick up some pollen from one of the blossoms and deposit it in another one. And when they do that, the bee makes the little pumpkin grow, doesn't it? Butterflies and spiders, grasshoppers and snails explore the pumpkin garden as they travel private trails. So underneath all those leaves are a lot of bugs, aren't there? Now, 100 days of weather, 100 days of care. 100 days is like when you get out of school in the spring until about the time you go to school again in the fall. So it's all summer they grow. Pumpkins climbing up the fence. Pumpkins everywhere. Help those pumpkins sit up straight so they grow up round and proud. Scratch on pumpkin names so they stand up in the crowd. So we started with a seed, and after 1 week, what grew? 2 fat green leaves, didn't it? Then on the vine grew, and on the vine came a blossom. The blossoms were yellow, weren't they? And after the blossom opened, what went from blossom to blossom to blossom? The bees. And when the bees pollinated the blossoms, this little green pumpkin grew, didn't it? When summer turns to fall, green turns to gold, shorter days bring chilly nights, and pumpkin vines grow old. So now the man is going out to the garden. He's going to clean up all of the vines. Now comes the harvest. Pluck treasures from the vine, clear away the lifeless leaves, hide the rags of time. Gather up the finished fruit, ripe and fully grown. Tidy up the garden, make a cozy pumpkin home. Salute the pumpkin circle, make way for pumpkin cheer. Behold the pumpkin miracle, we're pumpkin millionaires. So we started with a seed, didn't we? And after 1 week, what grew? 2 fat green leaves. Then the vine grew, and on that vine grew the blossom. The blossoms were yellow, weren't they? Then their bees came along, and they went from blossom to blossom to blossom so that it would pollinate those blossoms. And what grew on the vine? The small green pumpkin, didn't it? Now, in the fall, they harvest the pumpkins, and we now have a large pumpkin, orange one. Make up pumpkin faces, add bright candle light, set them on your doorstep, let them flicker in the night. So they made their Halloween jack-o'-lantern, didn't they? What happens to your jack-o'-lantern after Halloween? Every day those pumpkins change. They get older and they get stranger. They sink and shrink. Pumpkin back to earth you go, turning into muck and dirt, a place for seeds to grow. So the pumpkin, when they carved it, they left some seeds in for his teeth. And as he got older and stranger, he went back to earth, and in the spring, the whole pumpkin circle started over again. How did this begin? What is this pumpkin thing? Is there a Mother Nature? Is there a pumpkin king? We can be sure of this. It's a circle without an end. It's pumpkin seeds to pumpkin seeds again. So that's the pumpkin circle. And what did we start with? A seed, didn't we? And after 7 days or 1 week, what grew? 2 fat green leaves, didn't it? And then it continued to grow, and on the vine grew a blossom, a big yellow blossom. And from that blossom, the bees came. They went from blossom to blossom to blossom, and they picked up the pollen. They pollinated the blossoms, and what grew? The green pumpkin, the small green pumpkin, didn't it? And after 100 days, it finally grew into the big orange pumpkin. And then we went out and picked our pumpkins. We carved them and made them into our jack-o'-lanterns. And after Halloween, what happened to our pumpkin? Our pumpkin started to disintegrate, didn't it? It rotted and it with some of those seeds that were left in the spring, it started the pumpkin circle all over again. Now, I have something for you to do, and your teacher's going to help you. We're going to see if you can find your pumpkin. Now, every student should receive one of these pumpkins from me. And it's just a plain pumpkin, isn't it? But what I want you to do is I want you to cut out this pumpkin, and I want you to follow the directions that your teacher's going to give you. Because the first thing she's going to say is, you need to put the number of lines that are in your first name on this pumpkin. So my name is Ruth. I have R-U-T-H, 4 letters. So I would put 4 lines on my pumpkin. So my name has 4 letters, so we put 4 lines on this pumpkin. So this activity is going to be something you'll need to really listen. Okay, the next instructions they're going to give you is they're going to have you draw the eyes. And I want you to draw them the same color as what your eyes are. Okay, then we're going to make a nose. Okay, if you're a boy, I want you to put a triangle for a nose. If you're a girl, I want you to put a circle. So all these directions we'll have to listen to very good. Now, the number, when you make the smile, the number of teeth that you put in your pumpkin, in your jack-o'-lantern, are the number of teeth that you have lost. Okay? And the stem, you can color whatever is your favorite color. Now, after you get this all done, then you can actually go around and see everyone's pumpkin, because they're all going to be different, aren't they? They will be a lot different because all the instructions will be specifically for you. So I want you to try this activity. Flat Aggie and I are going to be here next time when we're going to talk about another Ag in the Classroom subject. Thanks, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.